Hello, this is Jennifer Bataon, your Nevada real estate broker, and welcome to the Seller's Real Property Disclosure Form. This is a 5-page form that a seller is required to provide to the buyer once we're under contract. And by Nevada statute, I am not allowed to complete this form at all. It must be 100% completed by the seller. So let's get started. All right, seller's real property disclosure form. In accordance with Nevada law, a seller of residential real property in Nevada must disclose any and all known conditions and aspects of the property which materially affect the value or use of residential property in an adverse manner. So the key term is any and all known conditions. So for instance, if the property was used as a rental and you as the seller never actually lived in it, you might not know, the condition of every aspect of the property. So it's really just to your knowledge. So we'll keep that in mind as we complete the form. So you as a seller would enter the date. Do you currently or have you ever occupied this property? Yes or no? And then you would write in the property address. A seller's agent shall not complete a disclosure form regarding the residential property on behalf of the seller. So I am not allowed to complete this form for you. And then here we would put type of seller. Typically, it would be owner-occupier. And then you can read all of this fine print if you wish, and let me know if you have any questions. I'm just going to focus on helping you to fill out this form because 9 times out of 10, when I receive this form from other parties, not my clients, it has errors. So really want to make sure we fill this form out completely so that we just have to do it once. Okay, so here we go. Are you aware of any problems and or defects with any of the following? If there are any problems with any of these, we're going to check yes. If not, we're going to check no. And if the item does not even exist, such as a septic tank, a fountain, solar, a chimney, we're going to put NA. So we'll just carefully go one item at a time, electrical, plumbing, to your knowledge. Are there any problems with these? Usually septic tank and well, we would say NA, and so on and so forth. Water treatment system, that would be if you have like a reverse osmosis filter or a water softener. Wood burning system, just to back up a little, would be like a wood burning fireplace, which are actually no longer allowed, but if a place already has it and they're grandfathered in, that could be something. If there's no solar, we would say NA. Sorry to go backwards a little bit. Again, here's sauna, if there's, or hot tub. If there's not, we would just put NA if that doesn't exist. A lot of units do not have trash compactors or central vacuums, and usually don't have an intercom. Data communication lines would be like Ethernet or cable internet, or satellite. And if there's anything else, usually this is left blank. Then we're gonna initial on the bottom of each page. And then once we're under contract, I would send it to the buyer's agent and they would initial. Page 2, same thing, yes or no. Has there been any water damage, either currently or previously? Any structural defects, with like the walls, the foundation? Did you do any construction modifications to the property without permits? And then whether the property has been subject to construction defect claim. For instance, that would be common in a lot of the high rises actually in Las Vegas, as well as Sun City, Summerlin. Any of the improvements are located on unstable or expansive soil. Usually, most of these would be marked no. Any foundation sliding, flooding, located next to a floodplain, that usually no in Las Vegas. Located next to or near any known future development. Again, that would be to your knowledge. Any encroachments, easements, zoning violations, or non-conforming uses. Is the property adjacent to open range, which is where like you might have cattle grazing? Any problems with the roof? Any problems with the pool? If there is no pool, we would mark NA. And any history of infestation. Hopefully that's a no. And then going down here, usually these are marked no as well, but any substances such as asbestos, radon could be an issue. Again, to your knowledge, has there ever been any manufacture of methamphetamine within the property? Any previous or current fungus or mold? So that's including previously. And so usually these are all checked no, but of course it depends on your property. This is one that is usually marked wrong from when I receive this form. But are any features of the property shared in common with adjoining landowners? Usually we would check yes, because we typically share a community wall. Common interest community, that refers to the HOA. So, or see here it says homeowner association. Usually it's a yes, but if there is no HOA, we would say no. So then usually if you check number 9 as yes, then A and B would also be marked yes, because there would be HOA bylaws and HOA fees. Here, are there, only if it's in an HOA, are there any unpaid HOA fines? Any litigation against the HOA? Any assessments? Any construction that was not approved by the HOA? Any modifications? Usually 9C through F are marked no. Any problems with the water quality? And here, number 11, just anything else that could materially affect the value of the property or the use of it. If the property was built before 1977, we would say yes. And I have a separate lead-based paint disclosure, simply disclosing to the buyer that there may be lead-based paint, we don't know, but that they may want to get it tested. And that's all that it says. We're not saying that there's lead-based paint, but that may be a possibility. Water source is typically municipal, so we would check that box. And then you can skip all of this. Usually this is checked no if the property is in the Water Smart Landscape program, unless you did tear out all of the landscaping and put desert-friendly landscaping under this specific program. Solar, obviously yes or no, and whether it's owned or leased. And then typically wastewater disposal, we would check the box for municipal sewer. Private transfer fee obligation is usually a no. And then again, we would have one or both sellers initial down here, bottom of each page. And then here on page 3, anything that was checked yes, we would write down the number and write an explanation. So for instance, if it is in an HOA, we would write down property is in an HOA and has HOA laws and fees. And then we would also put number 8, property shares community wall. Something very, very simple and basic like that. And again, the seller has to write that out and then initial at the bottom. And of course, if anything else was marked yes, you would write it out there with the item number. Here is a bunch of fine print, kind of defining everything within this form, all of the terms. We need to provide this form to the other party at least 10 days before closing. I usually send it right away as soon as we go under contract though. And initial at the bottom. And more fine print. And then you would sign and date. And that's it. Also, I did want to say, if you accidentally mark any of these like no or NA, no, but it should have been an NA, or NA and it should have been a no, you would just scribble it out and put your initials and then check the right box. So, and we just want an initial to acknowledge the change. And that's it. So thank you for watching, and if you have any questions, as always, please let me know.